But to begin with, let's just find your feet on the ground. Oh, and are we recording already? Yeah, great. Thank you, Julia.
It just started.
It just started. Good. Good. So just find your feet on the ground. Take a deep breath. Then you can close your eyes if you want. Just let your attention gather in your feet. And you can imagine your attention like a liquid presence that is aware, a presence that is aware, that is conscious. So it's a liquid attention that makes you aware of whatever is happening in your feet right now, pleasant or unpleasant, warm or cold, whatever may be there. Just allow that liquid attention to gather in your feet and then let it flow up your lower legs, feeling your lower legs also. So it doesn't leave your feet, it stays in your feet and expands also into your lower legs, filling them with this liquid presence that is aware. Making you aware of what's happening there in your lower legs, some sensation on your skin, perhaps a contact with the material of your clothing, perhaps contact with the air, if your skin is exposed to the air. Just focus on the liquid presence that is a fullness filling your whole lower legs and feet, all the way up to your knees. Just let that liquid now flow up into your thighs, filling your thighs also with this warm and gentle awareness. That is a fullness, that is a presence, that is a substantiality. All the way from your knees to your hips. Making you aware of any sensations in your thighs. Then from there, just allow this liquid attention to flow into your hands. Filling your fingers and your whole hands with this liquid, warm presence. And this presence is alive and aware. So there is the presence that is aware, the attention, the awareness. You can be aware of that. And also of the particular content, sensations in your thighs that are present. I mean, in your hands. Move to the hands. And then allow this liquid attention to flow into your forearms, filling them also with this fluid, liquid attention, awareness that allows you to be aware of everything that's happening in your forearms right now. And from there, the liquid attention can flow into your upper arms and into your shoulders, filling them also with a warm presence that is alive here and now. And just invite this now to flow into your neck and head, filling those parts of your body with liquid presence, awareness also. Your head, your hair, your face, your eyes, your tongue, the inside of your head. And with the next exhalation, let it flow down into your chest and upper back. Filling your chest and upper back with awareness, liquid presence. And let it flow into your lower chest and mid region, all the way to your belly button. Include your middle back also. And when you're ready, maybe with the next breath or the one after, just let it flow down into your lower abdomen, into your lower belly, and into your pelvis. Filling your pelvic bowl with liquid attention, presence, awareness, including your lower back. And if you want, just let the breath now draw all of your attention into your belly, into the center of your belly. There, that lower belly below your belly button, in the center, somewhere there in the belly. Just let yourself breathe into that lower belly now for a few minutes, settling, relaxing, just being here now. Just sense your arms and your legs again. Let your awareness expand, include your whole body. Just let it expand into the whole room where you're sitting. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Good. Yeah. And if you, those of you who have your video off, if you can turn it on, it's nice to see your faces. Great. Yeah, thank you. So we are meeting at a pivotal moment in the history of humanity. The rise of artificial intelligence is changing many things. It's changing how we work, how we relate, how we imagine the future. Some of us feel excited about the prospects. Some of us feel anxious, even terrified. Many of us feel both excitement and fear, anxiety. Most people believe that a lot of jobs will be lost to AI and robots. Some predict that up to 90% of all jobs will be eliminated in terms of human employment. There are so many predictions and projections. A lot of it is people's hopes, and a lot of it is people's fears. I think the honest truth is we don't know where this is going. There are many possibilities. There are both dangers and opportunities. But one thing is certain, this is an unprecedented moment in human history. I believe it is the most significant shift and transformation that human beings have ever experienced. I believe it will redefine how we live our lives, how we find meaning and value, even what it means to be a human being. But while we cannot control the outcome in the next few years or decades, we can choose how to meet this moment. So today I will speak about how the diamond approach, an experiential path of self-realization, helps us meet profound change, any change, but particularly this change related to AI. Meet change with presence, with clarity, with creativity, with compassion. We will explore how meaning and value can arise not from a job title, but from our deeper nature, and how the innate intelligence and creativity of our true nature can give rise to wise, humane action, even at times of uncertainty like this. One main characteristic of the situation is that the pace of change is unlike anything we have known. Systems that once took decades to shift are moving in months. Many tasks we've tied to our identity, you know, like we tied our identity to those tasks, like writing, analyzing, for computer guys and gals, coding, designing, architecture, even parts of caregiving are being automated or accelerated. I was watching videos in the last, just in the last few weeks of robots powered by AI in fast food restaurants, replacing human employees because they work 24/7 with no breaks, no need to go to the toilet, no need to take a break to eat. You know, in Japan, they are using robots in restaurants to serve. So the servers are robots. In China, I've seen they have robots doing nursing tasks. So there is an acceleration in the kinds of applications that we see AI and robotics taking place. And of course, some very disturbing applications have to do with the military applications using AI for more efficient destruction. And but regardless of the pace, for many people, work has been a primary source of meaning, value, and recognition. So when that changes, it can feel like the ground is moving under our feet. It may feel like we are standing on shifting sand. And it is like shifting sand. It's shifting very fast. It's not like there is an earthquake every few years. It's like it's continually shifting and at an accelerated pace. So the question that emerges is not only how do we keep up with all these changes, but also who am I if the roles I have relied on are reshaped or replaced? Who am I? So this is the deeper invitation of our time, to let a crisis become an initiation, an opportunity, because it is a crisis unfolding, but it can become an opportunity in many ways to discover a source of value and purpose that doesn't depend on the market, all the algorithm, or anyone's approval. Which brings me to the deeper question of meaning. Where does lasting meaning come from? Many people find meaning in their lives in many different ways, in their jobs, their contributions, their relationships, you know, their children, their grandchildren, their hopes for the future. But when we realize our true nature, so we are talking here about the spiritual path, which means a spiritual path has to do with realizing our true nature, what we really are, who we really are as spiritual beings. That's what the spiritual path is all about. It's not about beliefs. It's not about giving you some pre-designed belief system and you believe it, and that makes you spiritual. Actually, that doesn't make you spiritual. It may make you religious, but there's a difference between religious and spiritual. Yeah. So to be spiritual does not require any beliefs. It requires that we experience our spiritual nature. That's what makes us spiritual. So when we realize, we discover, we experience our true nature, what we really are as spiritual beings, we find that meaning arises when we are in living contact with that presence that is our true nature, that is inherently alive, intelligent, loving, and real. When we touch this aliveness, meaning is not something we have to manufacture. It's not something we have to borrow from outside. It flowers naturally from within. In fact, when we realize our true identity, not the one we constructed through our personal history, we find that we are the meaning. We are the meaning. And that may sound esoteric or even strange thing to say. I am the meaning. What do you mean, I am the meaning? I am the meaning of life. My life has meaning because I am here. Not because of what I do, not because of what I contribute, not because of what I look like or my heritage or my past or my wealth or my intelligence, anything. None of that. I am the meaning of life just because I am. Meaning is inherent in who and what we really are. And that is not a logical thing that, we reach a conclusion, oh, therefore I am the meaning of life. No, no, no. We discover it, we feel it. Okay, this is the experience. I am the meaning of life. And then we no longer look for something external to give us meaning. We don't feel I lack meaning, I have no meaning, and go out looking for meaning. Our activities, our tasks in life still matter, but now they become expressions of our beingness rather than substitutes for it. And when we act from that depth of our true nature, then our actions are meaningful. Or if we take another quality, value, yeah? Rather than tying our value to productivity or wealth or relationships, we discover that value is intrinsic. Our very nature is value itself. Our self-worth is not tied to our titles, to our appearance, or our bank account. We find experientially that value is an inherent characteristic quality of what we really are, our true nature, that deep spiritual dimension of our being. This morning I remember that I gave a talk about this, a whole talk about value 2 years ago. And it's actually on YouTube, and you can listen to it if you want. I think Julia is going to put the link to that talk in your chat now or at some point. So it's a good deal here today, huh? You get 2 for 1. Another quality is, certainty, feeling certainty or uncertainty. Rather than chasing certainty in whatever external circumstances each one of us finds certainty, we discover a deeper ground that we can rely on, that remains steady even as the circumstances keep shifting and changing continually. So instead of who am I if my job disappears, we discover who am I prior to any job. Who am I prior to any job? And not just job, but prior to any role, prior to being a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, an activist, a scientist, a doctor, a worker, an employee, an entrepreneur. A lot of the predictions that and the scare talk that goes on has to do with a lot of misunderstanding. One misunderstanding is at the level of activities, that many people think that AI will replace all human activity. As some developers of AI and robotics say, whatever a human being can do, AI can do better. I disagree. Many things AI can do better, yes. Even they found now that AI, they are using AI to diagnose illnesses. And they found that AI is accurate in diagnosing illnesses 93% of the time. So it has a 93% accuracy, which makes you wonder, it's like, really, just 93%? That's not 100%? That's not good. Well, it is actually great if you think that, if you know that our doctors are 85% accurate. Human doctors have 85% accuracy in diagnosing illness. So AI is doing it better. But, but would AI replace the warmth, the empathy, the compassion of the doctor, of the nurse that is going to treat me? That's the difference. So I don't believe that AI can do everything that human beings can do better. AI can do many things human beings better, and probably more and more things, and better and better and better. But AI cannot replace our heart, our spirit, our humanness. So let's explore a few of the essential capacities of a human being that I believe are irreplaceable by AI. This true nature that I'm speaking of here manifests in many different ways. The primary way is the substantiality, that is the presence, that is the very essence of our spiritual beingness. It is a felt, touched, seen, smelled kind of presence. However, this presence manifests in many different qualities also, which are also substantial to varying degrees. Some are more substantial than others, and each has its own particular flavor, color, affect, and effect. So to name just a couple of them, a few of them. So the presence itself, that is a general presence, you know, it is a simple, immediate, kind of direct contact with aliveness, here, now, a realness. I am a substantial presence. I'm not an idea, like Descartes thought, I think, therefore I am. No, I am because I am. I exist. I am here as a substantiality beyond my body, beyond my physical existence and my mental functioning and my feelings even, and the sensations in my body. I am a substantial presence, a presence that is a fullness, has volume, a presence that is palpable and real. This is the fountain of meaning. So when we touch this presence, and then when we find out that we are this presence, meaning comes with that automatically, inherently. And our activity acquires a certain sanity and heart. Another quality of our essence, our essential nature, our spiritual nature, is intelligence. Many people don't know this, that actually our soul, our spiritual substance manifests as intelligence, a precise, luminous intelligence that cuts through confusion. It doesn't merely analyze, it understands. It helps us discern what is true, what is a projection, what's the next right step. It doesn't hallucinate like GPT can or our ego can. There's a funny thing that happened just the last weekend. I was in Boston last weekend teaching a particular teaching of the Diamond approach called the Merkaba vehicle. So we have different qualities that I'm talking about here, but there are combinations of qualities that we call vehicles that bring in particular wisdoms. And the vehicle of the Merkaba brings in the wisdom of pleasure. Where does pleasure come from? Anyway, it's a whole teaching on its own. And so anyway, I was explaining about the vehicle of Merkaba, what is a vehicle. And there are 10 vehicles in the Diamond Approach path teaching. And I thought, oh, somebody's going to ask me, what are the 10 vehicles? And so I just started writing them down. And I remembered 7 of them. I couldn't remember the other 3. And I thought, oh, no, I should remember all of them. So anyway, it was Friday night, and I was, sitting in my hotel, and I was writing down, and I thought, oh God, I don't have my books with me. I'm not, where am I going to look for it? So I thought I'll ask GPT. So I asked GPT, are you familiar with the 10 diamond vehicles of the Diamond Approach? It says, yes, I am. Can you list them? And it listed them. It was all wrong. Everything was, it made up the whole thing. I mean, ridiculous things. He says there is the personal vehicle, and then there is the universal vehicle, and then there is the absolute vehicle. And it went on like that. I mean, imagine the whole thing. I mean, it was so funny. I started laughing hysterically. I mean, some of those things, well, I can give it, it was really creative, but it was off. But he said it with suddenly, yes, I am familiar with the vehicles. Here they are, and explained each one of them, what it was about. And it was all off. So anyway, it was quite funny. I was sharing it with my fellow teachers on the team the next day, and we were laughing hysterically. It was like, okay, GPT hallucinating. But this intelligence that is inherent in our true nature is an intelligence we can truly rely on, that it will not make things up just to, give us what it thinks we want to hear. So it is the intelligence that created the whole manifestation, the whole of existence. It is the intelligence behind the force of evolution and every invention that human beings have come up with, including AI. It is a fundamental intelligence that is not even brain-based. That intelligence, I don't think AI will ever surpass. No matter how intelligent AI gets, it may get so intelligent that we cannot catch up with it in terms of, say, I don't know, processing information so fast. They can process information, but computers can do that already, you know? But it doesn't mean the computer is more intelligent than you and me. It's just doing it in a mechanical way. It's not doing it in an intelligent, purposeful, and meaningful way that understands. Another quality of our nature is the will. The will is a certain kind of an inner support. It's like that presence. It's like in the intelligence, the presence is a bright, brilliant luminosity. That's why we say when somebody is very intelligent, we say they are very bright. It's not a coincidence. It's because brilliancy, the intelligence of our true nature, is actually brilliant. It's a brilliancy, it's a brightness. The will is a presence that is a solidity. It's a solidity. It's like you feel a solidity in your body, in your pelvis, in your legs, and you feel you are sitting on solid ground. Even under pressure, you remain grounded. It's like it's the spine of our existence. So you can see how this inner support, you know, is extremely important for these times. We can remain grounded in the truth of what we are, and we can collaborate with technology without surrendering our humanity or our values. Another quality of our true nature is peace, peace and essential power. It is actually a substantial sense of a quiet stillness, a presence that is quiet, still, and peaceful, which also brings quietness, stillness, peace in our mind, heart, and body. So when we dip into that deep quietness, we can reset, we can rest, and not be thrown by the torrent of change. So we have a refuge where we can recharge. Of course, another quality or qualities of our nature is love, and another is compassion. And I don't think AI is going to duplicate that. The warmth that connects us. Love and compassion keep our field human. How we speak online, how we design systems, how we impact one another. It brings in the heart, which is the defining characteristic of humanity. And that is irreplaceable. Joy, curiosity, it's another quality. It's a light, playful presence that is like a yellow, bubbling kind of a lightness that invites exploration, even in the midst of scary things going on. It's like we become curious. Okay, how can I be in a different way? How can I reinvent myself? It lets us learn new tools without losing our humor or our heart. It's like that's what was at play in the last week on Friday when the GPT came up with all the fake vehicles. you know, it was joy. It brought a lot of lightness and joy. Like, it was very interesting. Another very important quality of our nature is the value. Most people don't know this, that there is actually a quality of our nature called value. Yeah? It has an amber color. Yeah? When you experience this quality of our true nature, we find that the value, worth is inherent to what we are. It's inherent to our essential nature. And it does not depend at all on anything external, not even our appearance or our health, our contributions, our wealth, nothing. It is an inherent value that is untouchable by anything. It is the standard of value. That's the talk that I gave a couple of years ago that you can go and listen to on YouTube if you want. So the point is not to compete with machines at being machines. We are not machines. So there is no competition with AI, as far as I'm concerned. The developers of AI are very mistaken when we think that uh, AI will develop so far that it will make us obsolete. We can never become obsolete because AI cannot duplicate the very essence of what we are. So the invitation is to collaborate with these tools. They are tools, while staying rooted in what only a human being in contact with our essence can bring. We can bring conscience, compassion, loving presence, creative insight, a moral compass. Although, we don't do very well, a lot of us with the moral compass, we don't follow it. We can bring true value. And most of all, we bring heart. Take a deep breath and just notice your body here now. Send your feet, send your seat. I would like to read you a story. There is a way that stories touch our heart that no other medium can, other perhaps than poetry and music. The stories kind of speak to different parts of us. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. There is an old story of a boy who passed by a wise woman's porch every afternoon on his way home from school. The old woman would often ask, "What did you learn today?" One day the boy replied, "We learned that life is like a grindstone that grinds you into flour." The old woman nodded softly. "Ah," she said, "but that is not the whole story." She led the boy to the back of her house where she kept a hand grinder. She placed grains between the heavy stones and showed the boy how turning the handle crushed them into powder. Then, with some effort, they lifted the top stone. The boy's eyes widened. Most of the grains had been ground down, but a few near the very center remained untouched. "Do you see?" said the old woman. "Life can grind you like the grain, But if you stay close to your center, life cannot crush you. The center is where you're safe. This is the gift of spiritual practice. It draws us back to our center, to the axis of our being, where nothing can grind us down. Life will keep turning with all of its joys and sorrows. But when we are rooted in our true nature, we remain whole. From this place of refuge, we rise into the world not as fugitives fleeing from life or from AI, but as participants embodying the deeper truths of what we are. And from this truth, our presence becomes a gift, steady, compassionate, and free. So we began today with uncertainty. We end here with a different kind of knowing. Not a prediction, but presence. The diamond approach offers a way to live from what is deepest in us, so that whatever comes, we meet it with clarity, with kindness, with dignity, with courage. So, three things I would invite you to take with you today. First, meaning is sourced from being, not borrowed from roles. Intelligence is not an algorithm, it is your nature, your essence. Action can be sovereign, humane, and creative, even in the midst of fast change. If what I'm talking about makes sense to you, and you are interested in engaging the diamond approach in some way, I want to say a couple of words about the Diamond Heart 10 group that is still open here in Colorado and closing in just a few months. By spring of beginning of next year, we will close the group. So this is the opportunity to join if you are interested. And if you are, of course, you can ask me questions at the end of this meeting. And also you can send me an email. I think Julia just put my email address in the chat, or you can even email Julia and she will put her email address there. I think there it is in the chat. Good. But anyway, I want to invite you now to do an exercise, because that's what we do in the diamond approach. We don't just talk. Talk is easy. Well, for some people, I guess. But yeah, some of us cannot keep our mouth shut. A friend of mine says, he's taping his mouth shut to sleep at night, because he sleeps with his mouth open, breathe through his mouth. And his doctor said, just tape your mouth shut. So there are tapes now that you can buy. Tape your. So I was joking with him, and she says, oh, he says, I talk so much, I have to tape my mouth shut to shut up and go to sleep. So anyway, here now I would like to give you the opportunity to talk. So let's get in groups of 3 triads, and Julia will put you in breakout rooms. And you can do an exercise. I would like you to explore in for 10 minutes each uh, your fears and hopes in relation to AI. And how are you feeling now after listening to me talk about this subject? Okay, just in general, explore your hopes and fears in relation to AI. So each one of you will talk for 10 minutes. You know, one of you just use your smartphone to time it, put the timer on, and then you shift to the next person for 10 minutes and then the next person for 10 minutes. And then we'll take a 10-minute break and then we'll come back here to Q&C. And we'll take a break. Uh, yeah, I said that already. We'll take a break and then we'll come back for Q&C. Now, while we do this monologue, while one of you is talking, the other two remain muted and do not interfere with the other person's monologue. It's not a time to make comments about what the other person is saying. It's not a time to tell them anything about, to agree or disagree, even non-verbally, or those are interference. Let the other person be free to explore without interference from your opinions. Huh? So I think that will give each person the freedom to explore without any concern about, is what I'm saying received, not received, and so on. And just stay on target with our subject.